Assalamu alaikum. This is video number 3 for 6.1, which is data security, and we'll be discussing data recovery in this video, right? So first of all, we have some situations and we'll be going over ways you can have your data back if it has been lost, right? So our ways you can prevent that you go out of the data, right? So we have accidental loss of data, right? So of course, if you unwillingly delete a file, so and you do not have access to it anymore, right? So first of all, you need to have backups in case data is lost or corrupted during an accidental operation, such as you deleting the file or someone else deleting the file from your computer. And save data on a regular basis so you do not end up with older files, right? Because what if you create a backup of a data 6 months ago and then you update your file constantly and then you delete it, so you'll have the backup of the file as a 6-month old file, right? And then use of password and IDs, right? So that someone unauthorized cannot delete your data in its whole, right? Now we have hardware faults. So hardware faults, of course, are basically what if your hard drive goes bad, or even what if there is no electricity and stuff, right? So another thing, again, we'll be using backups, of course, and use UPS, right? UPS, uninterrupted power supply, in case if there is a power loss, so you do not just run out of power, you have enough time to save all stuff and then shut down your computer or something, right? And then use parallel systems as backup hardware, right? So something you might have learned in chapter 5 is using disk mirroring to write all the data onto disk simultaneously, right? So you can have two simultaneously learning parallel system of one which can be a backup one. So if your original one goes out of stock or something, like just gets dies or something, right? So you can have the other one. Now we have software fault, right? So sometimes if you are aware, if you are running multiple, like if you have open like 30 browser tabs and you're editing a video, right? So your programs might just crash, right? So that is something that you need to be aware of. Please do not open 30 browser tabs and start editing a video in the background, even though I try to do that a lot of the times, right? So you need to use backups again so that your data is not lost or corrupted through the hardware, through the software fault in this matter. So you see not responding and then your editor just crashes, your hard work is just lost. So please be aware, you should not do that. And then you need to save data on a regular basis in case software suddenly freezes or crashes, just like I said, right, while the user is working on it. So the solution to this is either have such a good system that your software doesn't crashes, which may still crash just because of a software bug rather than the limitation of your hardware, or create backups. Backups are really important, right? Then you have incorrect computer operation, right? So you can just think of it as an accidental loss of data or a misclick or some sort, right? And then you have to train your users accordingly so that they do not perform bad operations, they do not delete a file, right? So you need to train them in order for them to not perform bad operations, right? So this is a very small, you only have this is a very small lecture. This is only for situations, and you should be aware of how to have data recovery options. Something you can use in every kind of a situation is have a backup, right? And other than that, you need to, if you're in a firm or a tech company or some sort, right, and you have given access to a lot of people, right, you need to train them how to use everything, right? And apart from that, hardware limitations, software limitations, these are going to be a big factor for a lot of years, right? Your hardware can just run bad, your RAM can just burn or something, your hard drive can just burn, right? So you need to be aware that all this stuff can happen, right? Or something like a power loss, which is very common in third world countries. And so you should have UPSs, right, uninterrupted power supplies, in order to have those 5 minutes where you can save your data and then just completely shut down your system then without losing all of your data, right? So this was what is in data recovery, right? And you should just be aware of general situations, and where to like put forward points on how to prevent data loss, right? And have data recovery options.